Have you heard the term circle of fifths, but are not sure what it is and how it can help you when composing and playing music? Hi, it's Simon from Composing Academy, and today I'll break down exactly what the circle of fifths is and how it can be incredibly useful when composing or performing music. Okay, so the circle of fifths is a visual representation showing all 12 pitches that are found in Western music. Its main function is to show us the relationship between various keys, in terms of how close or far away keys are from each other, in addition to helping us work out which sharps and flats are used in the various key signatures. So here is the circle divided into 12 parts. We have 12 parts because in Western music we have 12 pitches between two of the same notes. Between, say, C and C, there are 12 white and black notes. And then back to C as the final note. Each of these notes has its own key signatures, both a major key and a minor key. Before we start adding notes to the circle of fifths, it will be useful to understand how a major scale is formed, as we'll be counting through the major scale to help us work out the order of notes in the circle of fifths. I'll use the scale of C major to show this. A major scale is made up of a certain formula of distances between notes. When we play notes such as C, and then play the next note above or below it, this relationship between the two notes is called a half step, or semitone in the UK. So if I play the note of C, and then C sharp, as the black key is right next to the C natural, this gap is called a half step. The other type of relationship between notes we need to know about is a whole step. A whole step, or tone in the UK, is basically two half steps. So if I play C, two half steps up would take us to the D, the white note above C. A major scale is made up of a specific order of these whole steps and half steps. We have whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, whole step, half step. So in the UK, that would be tone, tone, semitone, tone, 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 semitone. If you start on any of the 12 notes and apply that formula, you'll be able to form a major scale starting on any note. You'll see that the circle of fifths is built on the interval or distance of a fifth, which will require us to count the first 5 notes of each scale. We can work out exactly which notes to use, making use of the whole step and half step formula. And then once we know the notes, we just work out which is our 5th note of the scale. So let's start to actually work out the circle of fifths. We're going to start with the key of C major at the top here. C major has no sharps or flats. And we know that because we saw when the formula to form a major scale is used, we were using just all the white notes between C and C. Let's now work out the next note to the right in the circle. To find the next note, we need to work out the 5th note of the scale of C major. So let's start on C and count up 5. So G is going to be the next letter on the circle of fifths. Let's play our major scale using the formula and starting on G. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. So G major is the major scale with 1 sharp, which is F sharp. Let's go round and now count up another 5 notes, this time starting on G. G, A, B, C and D. So let's play our major scale starting on D, using the whole step and half step formula. So D major is the scale with 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. Let's keep going up 5 notes from D, and that takes us to A. Using the formula, we can see that A major has 3 sharps, which are F sharp, C sharp and G sharp. We can keep going round, counting up 5 notes each time. 5 notes up from an A takes us to E, which has 4 sharps. Let's count up another 5 notes from E. and we end up on B major, which has 5 sharps. And then finally, let's count up another 5 notes of the B major scale, which will bring us to F sharp major, which has 6 sharps. You can see that we've now filled this right-hand side of the circle with the key signatures which are made up of sharps. We now need to do the same on the left-hand side with the key signatures which are made up of flats. For the flat keys, instead of going up by 5 notes each time, we're going to go down 5 notes. So again, starting on C, let's go down 5 notes. We end up on F. So F major is the key with 1 flat. Let's use our formula to check which flat it is. It's B flat. Okay, so let's go down another 5 notes, this time in the key of F major. All of the starting notes will now be flattened notes. We know that F major has B flat, so we need to include B flat in our counting. So the key of B flat has 2 flats. Let's play our scale of B flat major using our formula. So the key of B flat has 2 flats, B flat and E flat. Let's go down 5 notes from B flat, again using the scale of B flat major, which we just discovered. We get E flat. Down another 5 notes, and we get A flat. This is the key which has 4 flats. Down another 5 takes us to D flat. Finally, down another set of 5 notes takes us to G flat, which has 6 flats. You can now see we've reached the F sharp at the bottom, which is actually the same as G flat, but just with a different spelling of notes. Up until now, we've just been looking at the major keys, but for each of the 12 notes in the circle, there is also a corresponding or relative minor key, which are all shown in this inner circle. The same principle works for the minor keys, except instead of starting on C, we go down 3 notes to A. A minor is the key with no sharps or flats. The circle of fifths enables us to quickly see how many sharps or flats each key has, no matter if it's a major or minor key. More useful than that though, it can also show us which keys are close to each other in terms of shared notes. As we know, C major has no sharps or flats. If we look either side, we have F major with 1 flat on the left hand side, and G major with 1 sharp on the right hand side. So these keys are quite similar in that they use exactly the same notes apart from the 1 sharp or flat which has been changed. So any keys which are next to each other in the circle of fifths will have lots of notes in common, and so it will be easy to move from one key to the other without being too jarring for the listener. If we were in the key of, say, C major, and then wanted to move to a key near the bottom of the circle, such as B major, the 2 keys don't share a lot of notes in common. This would be quite a shift and would make it hard to change keys smoothly. The circle can also be used for working out which chords could work nicely together as well. As we've just discovered, keys which are next to each other in the circle share a lot of common notes. If instead of treating the letters in the circle as key signatures, but now instead they become chords, we can now see that if we have a chord of, say, E flat major, the chords either side of it, B flat major and A flat major, will work well if played as a chord progression. So that's a brief overview of the circle of fifths. Hopefully you can see that it can be a fantastic visual tool for working out key signatures quickly and for getting an idea about which keys flow well into one another as well as chords. As always, if you have enjoyed the video, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more composing and music theory tips and tricks. Also, be sure to check out my free beginner's guide to writing cinematic music in 5 easy steps ebook, a link of which is in the description below.